had thyroid eye disease for years, and itchy eyes have you itching for a fight. It's not too late for another treatment option. To learn more, visit treated.com. That's treat.com.
Oh, what a great night. But tomorrow on ET, we go from one iconic location to another, the Bluebird Cafe.
Wow, that means we get great music and all-day breakfast.
He is always trying to eat. That means we get Chrissy Metz. She's going to be with us tomorrow talking about her new music. But we've got one more thing we want to show you before we say goodnight.
99% of my jobs were all restaurant jobs. And I always fell in love with the angry chefs.
Back to work! Move!
And there's something about like a man that like can do something fast.
Call me Bobby Flay Sidney, stir that pot for me.
I like the way they like throw the food down and be like, just, I don't know, it was so sexy.
You said
yes, chef.
Jennifer Coolidge and the Bears' Jeremy Allen White.
Happening now.
A teenager and recent graduate of the Girvin Academy loses his life in a shooting. We spoke to officials here about this young man's death and the efforts across the city to keep these teens safe during the summer months.
You may have noticed some clouds bubbling up outside, and they're leading to some showers. We'll take a close look at radar, talk about rain chances for the rest of the week, and we turn up the heat a little bit. I'll see you soon.
As we head into the summer season, you may be taking to the skies for a vacation. But before you book a flight, we've got the customer satisfaction rankings for the airlines. The News at 5 starts right now. First at 5, an update on a deadly drive-by shooting back on Friday. The 15-year-old killed, now identified as Christopher Michael Telfair Jr.
This happened at an apartment complex along Eisenhower Road and Raybon Drive. Chief William McManus saying Telfair was targeted in the shooting, but two others, ages 5 and 15, and a 60-year-old woman who were in the line of gunfire, also injured.
Each of them taken to the hospital, and we are working to get an update on their conditions. At last check, investigators were working with witnesses to get information on those suspects.
The Friday's shooting leading up to a violent weekend across San Antonio and the death of another teen who just graduated from the George Girvin Academy. We're talking about 18-year-old Jeremiah Hardiman. He died in a shooting on Saturday in the 1500 block of Upland Road. Police said he was not the intended target. It was the latest incident of gun violence among teenagers. R.J. Marquez spoke with people at the Girvin Academy about Hardiman, with the Boys and Girls Club also about efforts to keep young teens safe this summer.
Our community is saddened by the loss of Jeremiah, and we understand that the system in place that allowed this to happen is still happening today.
Nathan Hawkins, the superintendent at the George Girvin Academy, said they were heartbroken to hear about the death of Jeremiah Hardiman, who just graduated on May 27th.
It is so difficult because when you prepare them for the workforce and you prepare them for life and something like this happens, it's very devastating.
The Girvin Academy preaches to their students about gun violence and staying engaged in the community, which can be harder when they're out of school.
It's about getting these students engaged, active, making sure they feel a sense of belonging to the community, to our school, and making sure they're active, making sure that we provide opportunities.
It's important that we provide that guidance, that nurturing, and that direction.
At the Boys and Girls Club of San Antonio, there was a similar push to help keep young teens off the streets during the summer.
Just a critical time for kids to be, unsupervised, to be left at home, to kind of do what they want to do with their day. And so families really rely on affordable programming.
Ada Sines says many of these younger adults are trying to find their way, and the Boys and Girls Club is there to help.
If there's not a positive mentor or a positive adult in their life, then they're going to find it in somebody who's not that positive for them.
We had high hopes for Jeremiah. He was set up for an interview this Thursday to go to Goodwill to do a CDL. He wanted to graduate with a traditional high school diploma to make his mom proud.
And we are standing outside the Mays Family Clubhouse right now for the Boys and Girls Club of San Antonio, where they tell us that they have several programs geared for young adults and teens, including resiliency programs, sports, and of course mental health. But they also say that this group is the toughest to attract and keep here at the Boys and Girls Club. So they try and make it not seem too much like a regular school day. Now, speaking of that, we talked to obviously the Girvin Academy. They are dealing with tragedy right now, but they tell us that they are helping out their students and staff, and they also want to let people know that right now they have over 200 kids there for summer school programs as well to hopefully keep these kids in a safe environment. Reporting south of downtown, RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
There's a lot of issues right now that I think are causing gun violence throughout this country. One of them, obviously, is the access to firearms.
It's an issue. With kids home for the summer comes a renewed effort for gun safety awareness. Firearms kill more children under the age of 18 than anything else. It happens when a gun ends up in the wrong hands, sometimes by mistake. Courtney Friedman explains how one single conversation about gun storage could be the difference in saving a life.
It can happen in an instant, little hands on a gun, and it can have deadly consequences.
I think we as parents can all meet together when we're talking about safety for our kids.
Between 2015 and 2022, an analysis by Everytown for Gun Safety found there were at least 2,800 unintentional shootings in the U.S. by children aged 17 and younger, resulting in nearly 1,100 deaths and more than 1,800 non-fatal injuries. This includes nearly 900 preschoolers and toddlers who found a gun and unintentionally shot themselves or someone else. The American Academy of Pediatrics says it's critical to have a conversation on gun safety with other parents before your child goes on a play date.
Blame it a little bit on your kid. You know, my kid is so curious and he's always getting into things. So I just want to make sure that everything is put away safely and securely, including any firearms in the home.
Pediatrician Lois Lee says to start by framing the conversation around safety just like you would any other issue like pets or allergies. Use non-judgmental language. If guns are present, ask how the firearms are stored.
The most secure way is to have the firearm and the ammunition separated and locked away separately. But if that's really not something that a family can do, there are ways that you can secure your gun with a lockbox or a safe.
If you feel uncomfortable with any answers, choose another neutral place for your kids to play.
Or maybe invite the child over to your house.
Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
The American Academy of Pediatrics says it's also important to talk to your kids about guns and remind them that if they ever come across one, to just stay away from it and then tell a trusted adult immediately.
We have new information on a deadly motorcycle crash from over the weekend. The victim identified as Brandon Christian Demetrius Grissett.
He died Saturday night after crashing into a tree on New Sulphur Springs Road in Southeast Bexar County. No one else was hurt.
A man killed while walking along I-35 last week, now identified as Joseph Douglas. The 65-year-old died May 29th after he was struck by several vehicles. It was between Eisenhower and Walsham Roads. SAPD said Douglas was crossing the highway before he was hit. He died at the scene.
We're going to take a look outside with your traffic authority, and you can see traffic moving along just fine on a number of roadways. 410 at Ingram Road, no slowdowns there. This is pretty much how it always is, though, at 5:05 on a business day.
And we have a few showers to talk about that have popped up on the radar screen. Nothing significant, just some brief downpours that'll get in the way of traveling on the roadways a little bit, especially in I-10 east of San Antonio. That's where we have some of the heaviest rain right now. But let's talk about Bexar County. Moving north to south through San Antonio, we've had these little downpours pop up. And right now, this one's on the south side, right over Bronig Lake and 281 area, basically, with 1604, between 410 and 1604. Then you look off to the east, and it's really lit up closer to Luling, even moving into New Braunfels. And I'm watching for more development around Gonzales and Seguin as some outflow boundaries are coming together roughly in that vicinity. We'll take another look at that in a bit, but the storm chances really fall off after sunset. We're talking a 30% chance at 8 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, only a 10% chance, and then we'll clear out the rest of the night. So short-lived downpours, isolated in nature. Another close look at them in a bit this evening. 96 in Del Rio right now, 91 in Panna Maria. Currently in Bulverde, we're at 85. We'll talk about rain chances in the days ahead and how much hotter it's going to get soon in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. The National Transportation Safety Board is sifting through wreckage from a deadly plane crash in Virginia. It prompted the military to scramble jets over Washington, D.C. And experts are speculating it was a lack of oxygen in the cabin, explaining why that plane wandered into restricted airspace, then crashed. The situation triggering F-16s to follow closely for 30 minutes after several attempts to contact the pilot, including launching flares to alert him. The F-16 pilots noticed something was wrong. Aviation experts now trying to come up with a plausible explanation.
They looked in the cockpit and they could see that the pilot was slumped over and unconscious. Pressurization on an airplane compresses the air in the cabin to make sure that there's enough oxygen so that you can survive, and sometimes that pressurization may fail.
And if that's what happened, it may have caused hypoxia, a lack of oxygen in the cabin. The pilot, a woman, her 2-year-old daughter, along with their nanny, all died. A man claiming to be the woman's father told the New York Times that they were returning home to New York from North Carolina when that plane went down.
California state officials trying to figure out who sent a group of migrants from the Texas border to the California capital over the weekend. The two groups arrived in the Golden State. A second group actually arrived in Sacramento today. They are said to have flown private charter first to New Mexico, then to Sacramento. California's Attorney General Rob Bonta is actually investigating to find out who's behind it. He believes it could be Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who took credit for a similar situation last September when 50 migrants were flown from San Antonio to Martha's Vineyard. And speaking of politics, the race for the White House growing an even larger lineup of candidates. 2 new names heating up the list for the 2024 Republican presidential primary race.
ABC's M. Wynn has the latest on the race, including why one candidate says he won't be in the running after all.
Today, former Vice President Mike Pence officially filing papers for his 2024 presidential candidacy with the FEC ahead of his expected campaign launch Wednesday. Pence joining a slate of other Republican hopefuls this weekend at Iowa Senator Joni Ernst's annual Roast and Ride event.
Most people know me as vice president. I hope, should we enter the race, that people would get a better sense of who we are as a family.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis pitching his state as a model for the country.
We need to dispense with the culture of losing. Florida shows it can be done.
Also there, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, who's expected to announce he's running for president tomorrow, and South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. Today on The View, Scott not directly answering a question about why he believes there's no systemic racism in America.
I believe America could do for anyone what she's done for me. Restoring hope, creating opportunities.
GOP frontrunner former President Trump notably skipping the event, saying in a statement this week's additions to the presidential race are joining only because Ron DeSanctimonious has proven to be an inept campaigner. One possible candidate who won't be joining this race, New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu, who explained his decision by saying a large group of candidates might help Trump get renominated. By the end of this week, there will be 12 Republicans in this race. M. Wynn, ABC News, Washington.
Are you planning a family vacation that requires booking a flight? Stick around. We've got some airlines travelers are raving about. It's a case of top versus flop, and we're going to share the reviews with you to help you plan your next family flight when we come back.
Tonight, 6 of Texas Rangers' testimony could jeopardize the convictions of ex-Constable Michelle Barrientos Vela. What the star witness being held in contempt of court could mean for the high-profile case on appeal.
A cancer drug shortage so serious, foreign countries are pitching in to help U.S. patients. How the shortage is affecting local cancer centers, and when our doctors can expect to get their hands on more medicine.
And today, the deadline, the day the U.S. would have run out of money to pay its debts, had lawmakers not reached a deal on the debt ceiling. In a new KSAT Explains, we break down the purpose of the debt ceiling, where it came from, and why it's not the same thing as a spending limit.
Air travel is expected to bust records this summer, but before you book your flights, there's a way to find out which ones customers like the best. 12 on your side's Marilyn Wartz with the airlines that people gripe most about and which they like the most.
Wrapping up our Copenhagen trip.
Jose Duran is living it up, traveling and blogging, but it's not always smooth going.
I was in San Francisco. I had the last flight, the red eye, back to New York, and that flight ended up being canceled, and that created a whole cascade of events that spiraled out of control, really.
Consumer Report surveyed 17,000 members about 33,000 flights, asking about check-in, delays, cleanliness, and price. For economy travel, Hawaiian Airlines scored highest. Southwest was in the middle along with Delta, followed by United, then American, which scored lower for seat comfort. At the bottom, Frontier Airlines. No surprise that business and first class passengers were more satisfied than those in coach, where the top gripe was seating.
26% of our members in coach reported either being very uncomfortable, booking the wrong seat, or not able to sit with family.
About 20% of travelers complained about things like delays and cancellations, but most said they did not formally complain to the airline.
Whatever your air travel issues, it's important to lodge complaints with the airline while you are still at the airport. If you are stranded, you may be owed meals or a hotel room, or even money if you're bumped from your flight.
You do have rights as a passenger. This Department of Transportation website is helpful explaining those and what airlines will do if there's a problem. We have a link on our website. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
All right, let's talk the weather. It has been an active pattern, and that continues on this Monday, Adam.
Yeah, isolated downpours have popped up. You're looking at that one that's fizzling out on the south side there from our live cam at 410 and I-10, and that's looking southward at that downpour that's falling apart now. Isolated downpours will be coming to an end after sunset, then more isolated rain over the next couple of afternoons. Nothing severe expected, and we are starting to warm up a little bit, a little above average. Let's get right to our radar first of all. First and foremost here, most of the action is east of town and even a little bit moving through Concan right now. You see this area of red and yellow indicating some of the heavier rain that's pushing southward through Concan and just clipping Utopia as well. You get into San Antonio and really not a whole lot here. A few isolated downpours, especially crossing over Highway 90 and I-10, and this is near Martinez, China Grove, and even Lone Oak and Adkins. Very isolated in nature and mainly just downpours, and we're not talking any lightning in San Antonio right now. But you look off to the east, and this is where we're seeing some heavier rain, more organized rain, crossing over I-10. That's moving into Moulton, headed towards Shiner, and even Hallettsville. Schulenburg, of course, getting some of the heaviest rain with that. But this is where I'm watching over the next, we'll say, 30 to 45 minutes from new development just west of Gonzales here, down toward Leesville and Duville. That's because of these outflow boundaries that are coming together, and they're colliding here in western Gonzales County. And as they do that, they should work together to create a new lift in the atmosphere and kickstart new showers and thunderstorms. And that's actually what we saw here in New Braunfels, this outflow boundary developing this downpour that's now near Geronimo and headed toward New Braunfels as we speak. That's the big picture. That's what we have out there right now. It's isolated and very brief in nature. Now, here's the big picture across the state. Severe weather threat, that's way down over the valley, down to the south of us. But the big picture, you can almost see it here with the storm motions in Texas, this little counterclockwise circulation. We have a very weak but notable upper level disturbance that's helping to kickstart some of these isolated to widely separated showers. And you look at our rain chances here for the next several days, 30% tomorrow afternoon. By Wednesday, we're at 20%, 0% Thursday and Friday. So I do think we'll get a break from this afternoon activity. It's just going to be later on in the week. And then by Saturday, there is a 20% chance, and I think that's mainly late Friday night on into early Saturday morning. All right, look at these temperatures. You can tell where it's raining and where it's not. Del Rio, 93, Cotulla 91, meanwhile 70 in LaGrange, 86 in Kennedy, officially at the airport 84, begin on the south side at Stinson, 81, a little bit closer to that shower and that downpour. So as we go through tomorrow, we'll start the day at 68 degrees, mostly cloudy early, maybe some patchy fog, especially where you got rain today. That's where you have higher likelihood of fog developing for early tomorrow morning. And then by the afternoon, partly cloudy, 87 the high temperature, which is a little below average for this time of year. 30% chance tomorrow afternoon. So those isolated downpours popping up. 87 in Hondo, Nixon 88, Bulverde and Bernie topping out at 84 tomorrow. But I did mention we're going to crank it up a little bit going to get a little bit warmer. Check this out. As we get into Thursday and Friday, we're back into the 90s. Low to mid 90s then. 95 and sunny by Friday. Should that verify, that would be the warmest day so far this year. Up to this point, 94 is the warmest. And I want to leave you with this. What a great shot. Nice rain shaft over Seguin from a distance. These are those types of showers where you get that really good view from a distance of that lone downpour. Thanks for posting that.
Yeah, that's nice. Very defined. Thank you.
All right, rare is the time you get to see a future Spur play in a pro basketball finals that's not with the Spurs.
Yes, our Victor watch continues. He led his team to the L&B Pro A finals. You know, it's going to be a very busy month for Victor Wembanyama. He's going to play in the French finals, and he's going to come over here for the NBA draft. And speaking of the NBA, in the finals last night, Michael Malone absolutely ripped his team's effort. Coming up.
Oh, blocked by Wembanyama.
Great play. Wemby had 5 block shots, including that one that sparked a comeback by his team in Big Board Sports. Presumed NBA #1 draft pick Victor Wembanyama will now play for the L&B Pro A Championship before coming over to the States for the 2023 NBA draft later this month. Yesterday, he led his Metropolitans 92 past Oswell 71-69 to win the series in 4 games, while helping the Mets 92 advance to the French finals for the first time ever. Wemby had 15 points, 7 rebounds, 5 blocks, and 2 assists in 33 minutes of action. He came up clutch in the fourth quarter to lead a comeback win. The Mets 92 will now face Monaco in a best-of-5 league finals. That series starts this Saturday and could go until June 20th, 2 days before the NBA draft.
Now let's talk about effort. I mean, this is the NBA finals, and we're talking about effort. That's a huge concern of mine. You know, and you guys probably thought I was just making up some storyline after game 1 when I said we didn't play well. We didn't play well. And tonight, you know, that the starting lineup to start the game is 10-2 Miami. Start the third quarter, they scored 11 points in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And we just got, you know, we had guys out there that were just, whether feeling sorry for themselves for not making shots or thinking they can just turn it on or off. This is not the preseason. This is not the regular season. It's not round. This is the NBA Finals.
We're talking about effort. Coach Malone wasn't happy with his Denver Nuggets after they lost to the Heat 111-108 in Game 2 of the NBA Finals last night to even the series at 1-1. Miami overcame a 15-point second quarter deficit to take home court advantage away from the Nuggets. It was another great effort from the Heat.
We've faced a lot of adversity during the season, and we handled it the right way, where you're not making excuses about it. The injuries, the changing lineups, and because of all that adversity and the 57 close games that happened, due to a lot of that, that it hardened us.
The series will move to Miami now for games 3 and 4, Wednesday night at 7:30 and Friday night at 7:30. Game 5 will go down in Denver Monday at 7:30 p.m. All live right here on KSAT 12.
Remember covering the finals in Miami?
I do remember. That was a lot of fun.
Way back when?
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, Larry.
When y'all were young?
Yeah.
Younger, you
Before
mean.
the gray beard?
Younger, wow. I like the beard. I don't care what Ursula
I appreciate
says.
it. Thank you.
I like the beard.
Most interesting man in the world.
We'll be right back.
Thanks so much for watching the News at 5.
World News up next. We'll see you back here at 6.